We're here.
Oh, we are here.
We're here.
We are here.
Word of Controversy Podcast 41.
Episode 41. This is the Word of Controversy Podcast.
Like always, I'm hopping right into it. Tight squeeze. Word of Controversy Podcast, episode 41. You're here for a new season of the world's most controversial podcast. Robinson, how you been?
I've been good.
Like always, it's awkward. You know, last time I wasn't even on the show because I had Corona, and now that I'm back, I'm just feeling fantastic. There was a lot of talk about orgies on the last episode, and I want to be clear, I never had sex with any of them women that was mentioned on the last episode. I want to be very clear about that. Robinson made too many jokes. And just to be clear, that won't be going down on any season of this show. I want to be very clear. We do have children in the room, and it will be a very clean show. I'm super excited.
Well, I have to listen to that last one then.
Yeah, you gotta listen to the last one, episode 39. As for right now,
It was about spirituality.
Episode 40.
I see it. Sexuality and spirituality.
But you know you was gonna have them orgies, bro. Why you lying?
Listen. You gotta fix the words now.
we have a really, really special episode today. We actually got 3 guests. I don't know how it happened. It's a part 2 episode, and we got 3 really fantastic guests. Robinson, what's going on?
Hello. Also, this is the World of Controversy Podcast, the podcast that gave you all forms of controversy.
Absolutely.
I'm feeling great today. We have an amazing episode for you guys. We have 3 lovely, beautiful guests on, and we have some children that's gonna make their beautiful appearance on. So as of today, we got a part 2 episode going back to spirituality.
Episode 26. Is New Age or is New Spirituality demonic? Super important episode for us. One of our most watched episodes. We had AB and we had Sunshine. Pray for her. She wasn't able to come today. But yeah, I'm going to let our 3 guests introduce themselves. And yeah.
All right, we'll start over here. So, I'm AB, Ariel. I was on this drawing last time. But I'm from Philly, but now I'm a Southern girl. So to relate to this, I started, in the church, and then I realized there's a lot of falsehoods with that. So then I went down like the New Age path, like saw a lot of stuff like spiritual, like in the supernatural. Then I realized the truth from that, and then I went to Hebrew Israelitism, and then I realized some truth from that, and now I'm strictly Bible. I have my own encounter with, God, seen hell, everything. So that's my story.
Awesome. My name is Mar. I'm with Expressive Illustrations, which is a nonprofit whose whole mission is to improve everybody's mental health through all forms of expression. I'm an abstract artist, a spiritual healer, a psychic, mindfulness, a lot of different things. I'm into psychology and trauma and just decreasing the trauma and depression and stress within our community. So, and I do all through all forms of expression, so dancing, art, all that good stuff. That's me. Yeah.
Hey, that's so
Awesome.
decent. I am Vanessa, working with my brand YovWadi, which create experiences for women, resilient women who don't even recognize their resiliency, that are going through trauma, that feel broken, that feel tarnished, that need healing. So ultimately, that's what I've been through, and I seek to do that for everybody around me, because we deserve to heal, and we are healers ourselves. Like we are created to be that. I started in a church, Baptist. Found some things out about that I wasn't, felt like I was being blinded from the truth, and I walked in the truth, as they would say, being a Hebrew Israelite, and that went a whole different direction than what I expected. And so now I'm just building back my relationship with the Most High Himself.
Amen.
That's the best way to do it, because people will lead you on their own path, and if you don't know for yourself, then you just don't know. So now, like, I've been reading with my daughters about, who everybody says God, but I teach them to call me Yah from how I learned from
I call them that too.
And so just keep going with that. And my daughter's like, y'all made us, y'all made this. And so to hear her say that is beautiful. It means that she's listening, that she's paying attention, that she's understanding what's going on. And so I'm grateful for the experience that I've been through, and I'm glad I'm here today to, you know, share my story, my testimony, and how, you know, y'all is bringing me through all of this. Because if it wasn't for him, man, I ain't no telling where I would be. And I was even struggling because I came across, you know, this 5%er who was trying to tell me that y'all isn't real. And me being with him, I was like listening to some things like on the logical perspective, there's some truth to it, but like without the spiritual aspect of it, logic means nothing.
Exactly.
And so you can have the facts, but how far will the facts take you if you have no faith?
Right.
When the facts fall, when it's like you're up against the wall and there's nothing you can do, this is it. It's like, do you give up or do you have faith that the Most High is going to bring you through?
Exactly.
And so I'm there where I'm like, you know what? Regardless of all of these people and these men that I've encountered and having their babies, be careful who y'all have your babies with.
Come on.
But
Come on. Say it.
through all in all, I'm putting my faith in y'all because I had to remember what he brought me through, and I had to remember the times where I called him and I needed him and he was there where the facts were against me.
Yes,
it was
ma'am.
like, you don't have no choice. You have no chance. It's over for you. And I was like, no, this ain't the end.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad to be here today with all of these lovely souls to, you know.
I wanted to mention just like a disclaimer because everybody kind of said with their relationship with the church or with their, so I'm very spiritual. I believe a lot of religions are very similar in a lot of ways, and it's all about the relationship with Source. But I don't really believe in the construct of religion. Just so y'all know,
Okay.
that's where I'm at with it. Like I feel like, I grew up Baptist Christian, and I have family that are Muslims. But my thing is like I can't explain it. I have my own spirituality with me and Source, which I call God. And God is within me, so yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
There's
There's some scriptures. I got some notes on that exact time.
Yeah,
so
because
we'll
I feel
talk
like
about it.
religion is man-made, and it's there to divide us and not so much bring us together. In some ways, I'm not. Whenever I say something, I don't mean that's the only way. Like it's always so many perspectives.
Yes, yeah, but we're here to talk about all of that.
Well,
You
true
know,
religion is to stay unspotted from the world, right?
Unspotted.
Unspotted
Oh,
from the
alright,
world.
yeah,
That's James.
yeah.
That's James 1.
Yeah.
And the devil is calling me right now. I don't know why.
Not the devil.
You know what I mean? Every time we do these podcasts, some crazy stuff. You know, Ron, I'm waiting for that woman to scream in our headphones. You know that happens every once in a while.
Yeah. Whenever you talk real shit, it's always something.
Exactly.
Oh,
listen,
stop.
the last podcast we had, I remember texting Jeremy, and I remember like in my house, I mean that house was already kind of haunted, my family's house, but it was like my water bottle, not my water bottle, but my green juice bottle was on the dresser, and there's no way for it to fall. But I remember one night that John just fell because what we were about to do, we were about to be talking some real stuff,
Yep.
and it's like the devil was mad. He was like, "Oh no, I'm about to scare this John," but you know. Faith, you know, is over faith.
Exactly. So before we, you know, and I know this can be a very scripture saturated episode, I want to just hop into what exactly is New Age. And I know we just had this convo right before the camera started. What is New Age? What are these practices we're talking about? It's just to clarify, what exactly is New Age? When you hear that, what are you thinking about?
Are we going around in a circle?
No. Anyone who
Anyone can
Okay.
talk.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of like a little nerd with it. So, New Age, they say that it came into the West in the 1970s. But basically, at the base levels, New Age is like a range. It says a range of spiritual practices and beliefs. So it's not like one set thing. You know, like how with religion, it's like, okay, these are the set rules and everything like that. With New Age, it's kind of like, you know, this is your rule, your truth, and just like kind of like let all be all kind of. The biggest thing, which is honestly also not honest. I mean, not to downplay it, but it's the same rule in Satanism. It says, do as thou wilt, or do what you want. Do as thou wilt is in Satanism by Anton LaVey. Do as you want is in New Age.
Yeah, that's Crowleyanism, right?
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people are saying New Age is, like Crowleyan doctrine, correct? Yep. So here's my thing. I've heard it said that New Age is like a mix of a bunch of different religions, though.
Yeah, it's a mix of Hinduism, Buddhism. They have little bits of Christianity in it, like, you know, using like the verses and like, you know, what love is and everything. I don't know if they got Islam. They probably do.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so Rob, I'm already confused, because if New Ageism indeed is a mix of a bunch of religions, what's up with Satanism? Is Satanism a religion?
Satanism is a religion.
It is.
Who is getting worshipped in Satanism?
Satan is getting worshipped. What you mean?
So I got a question.
Yeah, what's your question?
If every religion is worshiping one person or a few different people, in New Ageism, are you not worshiping multiple people, including Satan?
Oh,
now, hold up.
Hold up,
Vanessa,
brother,
talk to me
you
for a
about to
second.
get deep.
No, hold up. If it's a mix of a bunch of religions, and some of those religions believe in God, Muhammad, Zeus, and some believe in Satan, would that mean in the bubble of everyone you're worshiping in New Ageism, are you not worshiping Satan in the mix?
No.
Whoa.
No.
Oh, who said no?
Let's hear.
No, I just want to know.
I want to hear it. Come on.
There's a similar thing going on, right? Like, because when you praise, or when you're somebody or something, but I feel like me learning spirituality is also knowing the difference between Satan and God. So that's what makes me feel like you would know it. Now people do make that mistake, because like I said, when you have power and when you start to do, you have to keep your eye on what's appropriate and what's okay and what's not. So like, okay, if I'm sitting here and I told her when I was a Christian, I used to want to be like Jesus, but then I thought about it. I'm like, I don't want to be like without a house. You know, he went through a lot of stuff, and it turns, a lot of times, it can turn cult-like when you get into religion and you start doing what they tell you to do, and you start really believing it. But I feel like it's just knowledge. So I don't feel like you're saying Satan is who we're sitting here. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
I got a question for you, actually. Sorry, not to be...
I got a question after her.
But wait, what was the thing that you were saying? Dang, okay. What was the thing you were saying? Like, overall, you said before, you were talking about
the difference between knowing God and knowing
Yeah. So my question is, who is God to you? Who is Satan? Then we can break it down that way.
Okay.
Because I know New Age is like also God is yourself. So
right, yeah. So I feel like God is within me, but I'm still trying to get like out of the societal realm of like him being my father. Like, I feel like he's my father, my mother. He's like my everything. He is who created me. He has put me on this path God is, not he. I'm trying to stop saying he. It was put in me. So, but I do feel like God is within me, and I am a goddess. But I don't feel like I'm God. Like, but I am one of. But that's my opinion. And then Satan is somebody who is spiritual also, honestly. But Satan is someone who wants that evilness and that like that hurt. Not so much like God is love. I don't know what Satan is.
Yeah, why do you think Satan? Because if you like the story, we can even talk about that. Like, you know, in the Bible, Satan was casted out, and there's a lot of people that are Satanists or even New Age. Because I was talking to some New Age folks in the past, and they were like, you know, Satan isn't the one that's wrong, because, you know, like, he was trying to do him, and God was
I think everything is balanced, so I think you do need shadow and darkness within light, but I wouldn't sit there and praise Satan.
I got one more question.
Is that non-duality?
Non-duality.
I'm sorry,
you might have to explain that, brother.
Too early.
Brother, it's time to explain.
Yes, what is non-duality? You gotta teach the folks.
Yeah. What your man team said.
Hey, yo, why you bringing up X-Tag?
I had to bring it up. Because you gotta talk to the people like they don't know. That's what he showed you.
Non-duality is the belief that there is no right or wrong, no good or evil.
There you go, brother.
Oneness.
Oh, yeah. All right, so for me, I feel like everybody is born with pure heart and the world changes it. I also feel like a lot of evil. I don't take anything. I live by certain laws. Like, I don't take anything personally. Everything has nothing to do with me. People hurt because they've been hurt. Like, I live with those type of things. So I don't feel like they're, I'm one of those people who feel like it's very little evil in the world.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, let's talk about that topic. Let's say you're in there, your
so
perspective and my
interesting.
perspective on that.
I wanted
like
to
that
jump in
topic.
on so many
Yeah,
things.
go ahead.
The first part where you said it's just about knowledge. Knowledge can be distorted in so many different ways.
Yep.
And you can believe so many different things. So in the scriptures it said that Satan was the light to some people, and so that's a false light, and but to the person that follows him, they believe that that's true. So it's like, how do you know what's true and what's not? So there's a limit to knowledge, though, because it can take you so far off, and that's why spirituality is important, and really knowing in your core what's right. You can worship something, you can believe something, but in your core you can know when it's wrong. Another thing is that when you look up the word Satan, it just simply means adversary. And so when you talk about the adversary, it's like, what is it against? Like, you got to look at, what's against the other, as far as not even right or wrong, but what is the force against the other force. And so that's what I think about. There was so many things you said that I wanted to get into. I should have wrote it.
But yes, but with that here, I got a piece of, use my little piece of paper over here. I got my phone so I can type stuff in. If you got a pen, you can use the
I got my
bottom.
phone too. I just was so locked into what you were saying that I didn't even write it down. But I'm gonna start taking notes on my next one.
But
yeah.
That last topic, though, I think we should both say, if you have something to say on it, because I got stuff to say about, do we think that people, because I think that's a huge thing with New Age, and then a lot of false things with Christianity, and then just with life in general. As I said, women, we be going through stuff.
Right.
So, do you think that people are inherently good or evil? Because that's a question I asked on my Instagram a while ago. So I'm curious since you brought that up, because I got my perspective. It's different, but people believe. I'm like, hey, that's what it is.
As far as my perspective, I feel like we're all created for a purpose. Some people are created to be evil. Who knows who they are? They know. But even Satan was created to do Yah's work. You feel what I'm saying? So we all serve a purpose, whether good or evil. I know in my heart that I do my best to be a good person. And sometimes that depends, because whose idea of good are we living off of? Is it the world's? Because it can get distorted. So I feel like there are a lot of evil forces in the world, whether we know that they're there or not. Like, so many things direct us kind of, whether in a wrong path or a good path, depending on who we're associated with, the environment that we've grown up in, and many of the things around us do definitely alter who we are as a person. And then it's like, but I'll experience something and I'll know that whether somebody told me it's true or not, in my head it'd be like, that makes sense. I get it. But in my heart, it's like, that's wrong. Like, so I have a lot of conflicting perspectives about a lot of things, because it's like, that makes sense. Like, if you connect A, B, and C, this is what it is. You're going this way. You connect these dots, you're going to make this picture. And so it makes sense. But ultimately, it's more than just sense, because we're more than just physical beings.
I agree.
And so that makes a whole difference.
Yes. But, dang, that's good.
Hey, so you said even Satan was made to do Yah work, right? So what you're saying is we're all made from Yah, right?
Right.
So when you say we all have free will, because you make the choice of whether you're gonna serve Yah or not.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
So,
wait, I'm sorry. I'm looking at my perspective on this topic since the...
So you don't want to hop into this predestination debate he's trying to bring in.
Oh, was that it? That was
Is that where you're going with this,
Rob? You was trying to prove my point. Like, you was on the page with me, because it ain't what I said. It's what the scripture said.
Wait a minute.
He was created to fulfill the purpose.
Exactly,
I didn't just make that up. I didn't say that. Like, he was a fallen angel because that's what he was supposed to do. And then at the end of the world, however the world's going to end, that purpose is going to be fulfilled because that's what he was supposed to do. So nothing can happen on this world. Nothing is new under the sun. Nothing is created just out of nothing. Even everything man-made came from something else. We all came from something else. Yes, we have the choice to do evil, but it says that he wants us to choose him, and some of us don't.
And you know what? I got a good conversation about that. That's something I've been learning, like being down here. It's like basically, you know, it's like 2 layers, the flesh and the spirit.
Right.
So literally, but let me use the verse where let me just say my perspective, which disagrees with everybody. I believe that humans, our flesh is evil. We're physical beings.
Yes.
So it literally says Matthew 15:19, since you wanted to get the verses out. For out of the heart proceeds evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witnesses, blasphemies. These are the things that defile a man. So if we're in our fleshly state, I know New Age talks about lower self, higher self, but you know, biblical scripture is the flesh and the spirit. If we're operating in our flesh, we're evil. But by fasting and things like that, making a connection with or building a relationship with the Most High, then we can get into our spirit, which is us doing these good things and naturally being like, had that right conscious. Because, you know, like you see like people that are like out the club every day, like literally like, you know, fall into their urges, sexual urges and everything like that. It's like, boom, you know, like they're operating out of their heart, and their heart is evil because they're kind of like, in New Age would be lower self, instead of taking that time to really get themselves right. Because even as kids, and this is my last point with this, like it was psychology with kids, you know, there's like the terrible twos or whatever that's called, and as a mother you could agree to, but like as a kid, and I know it's a bad kid, but as
They're the most spiritual.
Yeah, they are the most spiritual. Yeah. So, but you know, like when they're like at a certain age, like, and it's like, okay, it's like kind of like, oh, me and mine, it's like they want like, you know, like the toy without thinking, like, oh, okay, what about like my sister? What about, now there's really good kids, but a lot are like, okay, you know, I see this toy, I want it, and things like that. So they're operating on like, you know, kind of like more the fleshly level without
ego.
Yeah, without ego level. Yeah, so those are just some thoughts to, you know, plant some seeds. But yes. Sorry, that's all I get.
No, that was good. That was good. I like both y'all perspective on it. Y'all speak some good stuff. Germ.
Who do witches pray to?
Who do witches pray to?
First of all, let's talk about witches.
Wait. You jumped from one thing to the other.
I thought we were going to predestination.
Yeah, I thought we were still on the predestination.
He needed to know this, obviously. It was on his heart.
Yeah.
Who do witches pray to?
What are witches?
Oh, see.
You tell me a witch is someone who uses the natural energies to change the future.
Whoa, wait, let's get one and look up that definition.
Witches are made out to be
don't bring up that white man's definition. I just told you what the
I
definition
did hear
is.
that. I did hear that witches were made out to
No,
be
I heard this. I heard this.
So witches, they use energy to see the future, to get the future?
I said to change the future. To see the future, that's divination.
Is it?
Are y'all ready for this talk?
Yeah, I'm ready.
What's going on?
Hold up.
Yeah,
World of
Did you
Controversy
say to
podcast.
see the future is divination?
So listen, I have dreams, right? I get dreams. I had a dream that I talked to my aunt before she passed away.
Oh, that's a good conversation. Okay, let's talk about it.
I had a dream. I seen my little brother before he was born. I had a dream fish were going to die, and the next day to work, they were all dead. Most in black families, right? If somebody pregnant, what they say, oh, I saw fishes last night. A spiritual thing. You are connected to God. You are seeing things before they happen. It's different, and don't get me started on the different realms that you have access to, and people don't even know. So I don't feel like it's like we're using this energy for this horrible thing and trying to maneuver. No, like it's already there. It's already part of. Go ahead.
You know, I agree. That's not like when the spiritual stuff, God gives us gifts.
Yeah.
It's about, the issue is about the source. I think that's the issue of, like, let's say, like, New Age and all those things. It's about the source, because everybody has gifts to, you know, operate in the spiritual, especially, like, dreams. People are like, oh, dreams just your subconscious. No, I'd be having crazy dreams. I had dreams about, like, literally stuff that's happening, like, now. Like, you know, they talk about, like, Russia and the war of that. Literally, I had a whole dream in line with like all these Russian soldiers, all that. So my dreams be crazy, so I understand. But it's like literally, it's gifts that God gives us, so that's true. So I think we should.
Okay, guys. Sorry to cut you guys off real quick, but I think it's time for a break.
Dang, this went by fast.
Yes.
Oh, we need to make this like 2-hour John.
I wish we could.
Apparently it's going to be a part 3.
Yeah, this definitely is.
Definitely got to be a part 3.
Yes. Dang, we talked more than
oh, this
than
gonna be
did.
We back?
All right, we're back.
We're back.
This is the Word of Controversy podcast, the podcast that gives you all forms of controversy.
Absolutely. Episode 41. I'm having a really good time.
Yes. This is a great season premiere.
It's one of the season premieres, I think, that's going to go down in history. Obviously, we've had some good season premieres, but this is the jam. We got 3 really good guests. We got Ariel, AB, whatever you want to call her, young chili, she eating the fruit. She came all the way from North Carolina up here. We got Mar of Expressive Illustrations. And we have Vanessa in the building, who is a poet from Philadelphia. Super excited to have all 3 of y'all on. And of course, we got Julian Rob. Julian.
And we got Vanessa's 2 children. They're lovely, lovely souls.
Yes, we got the youth. We got the youth.
We're training them up right.
Uh-oh.
The Bible says, train up a child
in the way to go,
and they shall not depart.
Yeah, some of y'all grew up too Baptist. So, yeah, you can follow the podcast, WOC_pod on Twitter, WOC_podcast on Instagram, World of Controversy podcast on Facebook. My name is Germ Griffin.
And WOC_pod on YouTube.
Yes, actually, we do have a YouTube.
Yes.
I know some people just listen, but if you do want to actually look at our beautiful faces, we have a YouTube. We'll be back on Odyssey and BitChute soon enough. And, yeah.
And you can still find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, anywhere where podcasts. World of Controversy podcast.
Absolutely.
Now, let's get back to what we was talking about.
Absolutely. Robinson, talk to me.
Okay. So, last we was talking about, right? Ariel, you was asking the question, right?
Oh, you were talking about predestination. That's where you were leading it.
Well, the
That's
predestination.
where you were leading it. I didn't.
Yeah, that's a whole nother joint. I think that's an episode literally all in
okay,
it.
we want to get on
witches.
Yeah, if we want to get on that, we want to get on New Age
Germ,
stuff.
you hit on witches.
Yeah,
you
that's
gotta
what-
go
listen.
back into that.
And I got questions on here for y'all too. So
I wanted to say, because me being psychic, I feel like everybody is psychic, right? It's the power of the mind. It's being connected to source. But I noticed, like, in me doing, because I do everything with intention, right? I might do rituals. I haven't gotten into, like, getting a toe from something and I haven't done certain stuff
Have
like
you
that.
killed any chickens?
No.
are you thinking of doing that?
I did. I ran over one. Not on purpose. It wasn't intentional.
Okay.
Since we're talking about killing chickens, I felt really bad about it.
It's okay.
And I called somebody to ask them to pray for me.
Dang,
Yeah.
I was a dog and I didn't feel. I just felt bad, but
But I've done stuff with intention. Doing everything with intention, right, means you're putting time into it. You're putting energy. Before I drink my water, I might be like, all right, this water's going to cleanse my body. It's going to be healthy.
Okay.
I drink it. So it's just like, it helped. Since I've gotten into doing things in this manner, talking to source, spending intentional time on stuff, moving energy, making sure I'm aware of energy around me, just certain stuff, it's only helped me out. But that's because I know the difference between overdoing it to the point where it becomes like Satanism, like the evilness and stuff. But I kind of stop myself if it starts to get there.
So you are claiming that it is a slippery slope to
It
Satanism.
is very.
Okay,
Yeah,
I just
so-
want to be
Very.
clear about that.
but
It can
who
be
is
wrong.
who is source? That's my biggest thing. Who is source?
To me, is God. Like
But who-
I explained earlier what I
But
felt
who
God
is
was.
who is God?
Now-
Because you can make anything a God. You can make
No,
these pineapples
she
a God.
right. Don't laugh. She is right.
sitting on something right now. AB is hitting on
Anything
something.
can be a god. Some
Idols.
people say Satan is a god.
Yeah,
No, wait a
he is the
minute.
God of the world. It literally says it. I think in Peter. Someone can correct me. He says Satan is the God
But
of
like
the
I
world.
said, like the New Age says, it's Buddhism, right?
Yeah.
It's all these. For me, I believe in God, but I also believe in a lot of things, Buddhism and Muslims and like I like the people who be like, yeah, spirituality is love. Like that's how I am. But I couldn't say, like I said, God is everything though. But I'm not praising pineapples.
Yeah, no, I was just making an extreme. I was making an extreme thing. Nothing against
But
you.
I don't. like I said, God, I can't really, like I said, I feel like I would just be repeating what I said earlier, which is God,
Yes,
and God is within me, but
You
God is
praise the
also a
plants?
power. I think plants can heal us.
But
I think,
okay, so that's
I think, we are one with plants. So I'm a vegan too.
wait. I kind of want to
Let's get
hit.
into it.
I want to hit on the thing you keep saying.
Do you do
God
the rain
is-
dances too?
Like
Yes,
Jay-Z
I do.
does.
I dance in the rain.
Hey.
Oh,
I don't know if that's what you're talking about.
Oh no! What Jay-Z does, Jay-Z and Eminem, that's how they get their powers. The rain. Look up Rain Man.
Indigenous practices and African cultures often do that type of stuff. So
We gotta
I
talk-
do believe in that.
Okay.
I believe in that type of traditional stuff.
The
too.
power coming from
wait,
those indigenous practices, are they coming from the devil?
Oh, we gotta talk about Marine. Yes, because I got you. Oh, I got a lot
Now-
to talk
now,
about.
are they
Marine.
coming from the
Leviathan,
devil?
all that.
Yes, Leviathan, because that's one of the most stubborn spirits in all of it. And with Marine, to make it short, because that's not part of the conversation right now. But I just did a whole research thing with this. So with the Marine Kingdom of African spirituality, you ever heard of like Queen of the Coast and things like that? Queen of Coast, Mommy Water. I know you
Mommy
probably know
Water,
Oshun and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, I should have had my notes prepared for that because I don't want to be just jumping all over. But literally, in the Bible, the Israelites, they were going against, God, at least the God of the Bible, and they were praising other idols, and a lot of them were by like the water and coast and things like that. So they created all these African spirituality gods, and they are real spirits. They are real. But it's not from God, and they were punished, and that's why they went on to slavery, and then that's why we're here and it's slavery again and everything like that.
That's not true.
Oh no, we're gonna have to talk.
That's not true.
Listen, y'all do your research. Don't listen to someone. Just don't listen to any of us.
Controversy.
Don't listen to any of us.
Controversy
But
there.
boom, but no. Back to the point though about with African spirituality, we got punished for them, even though they're real gods. That's why I asked about who is God, who is source. But yes, but let me keep my mouth shut. I don't want to overtalk.
Wait, hold up. I do want to hear what Vanessa got said. Vanessa, I know you got a lot to say on this subject. I know you were around some people who truly believe in some interesting stuff. So talk to me. What do you guys say about this topic, and how you feeling about what these two just said?
Man, this is definitely an interesting topic. I didn't know anything about the Leviathan spirit at all, but the family that I was with actually created prayers against Leviathan, Queen of the Coast, and they would do it very often. And I didn't really understand what was going on because, like I said, this was the first time that I was introduced to any type of demonic activity in any way. But it was like almost amplified with this family, though. It was like everything was like, oh, you gotta pray against this spirit, and they were like identifying spirits that I was attached to, that you need to pray against this and you need to pray against that. But I didn't understand how they were knowing what spirit it was. So that was like one thing. And then when they would pray to the Most High, they were like operating. First of all, he believed he was a prophet. That's first and foremost. And so he believed that he could communicate with the Most High and that he would receive answers. And so he would literally ask questions. Like usually when we ask questions and we pray, we can see it come to fruition in our lives. We can see when our prayers are answered because of what we prayed for. But in the instance where you're praying and asking the questions, like if I ask you a question, I expect you to answer. That's how it was. Like asking questions and receiving answers and like, oh, well, she's attached to this spirit. Like just out of the air almost.
Like
but
that pendulum
but
work I was
claiming,
talking about.
but claiming in the name of the Most High. And it was just like, okay, me being new to what I was like, they have all of this information. And this goes back to the knowledge. They were giving me knowledge. They were giving me spirituality, and they were also giving me demonic realms. And it was like, wait, hold on, like slow down. I don't really know what's going on. And they actually trained, like you said, train up a child in the way you should go. They were training me up to do the exact same thing, to pray to the Most High, to receive questions in reference to what these spirits were. And then they would have like those specific prayers that you had to pray against that spirit. It's like, pray this every morning, pray this every night. Keep just.
Did they believe in surrendering? Like not knowing, trusting, and surrendering? Because it's kind of like a big, part of faith is just, you can't get into all of, not you can't, but you're not worried about any of that shit. It's just like.
Exactly.
I agree with both things because, I agree that as faith, because that's what people be lacking. Like, you need to just trust, God's going to
protect it.
Yeah, going to do things for you. But in the spiritual realm, Ephesians 6:12 says we don't fight against flesh and blood. So like, if you
right.
and me and got beef, it's not about you and me. It's
Right.
about what like maybe be operating in you, because that then kind of
Don't
contradicts
take
what
anything personally.
yeah. So
Right.
it's like so it might be operating in you that might like be like, okay, boom, I'm gonna make Mar be like this to Ariel, when it's like
Right.
but if that was like, let's say that was taken away, we'll be we'll be like, okay,
Love.
well, we're cool, we're cool, so it's nothing against us personal, we're cool peoples, but that's one thing like I kind of do personally. I do pray against like certain things and certain like spirits and everything like that. And then also, if we're gonna get like real spiritual, I don't know if you ever noticed it too, 'cause I know you said you had dreams, but like you can like see with in people's eyes too. Like that's why like you can see like what's operating with people, like especially like with men. That's how, like I knew like how to avoid certain people, because I'm like, when I'll be talking, like I just see something in your eyes,
She
you
got a
can't.
point there.
Robinson?
Yeah, so it's like, but
She got a
That's
point.
it's like you don't know how powerful, like that's what I'm saying, like you don't know how
You can
powerful
see
we
in
are as
certain
people.
people's eyes.
Yeah, you don't know how powerful
I
you are in
noticed till I
people when you
went to New
operate.
There are certain
Yeah.
people's eyes.
In New
you can
Orleans,
see.
that's by the coast, they do a lot of voodoo. Listen, I work with a voodoo priestess at my job down south. I know about it.
But
Yeah.
the scripture does
Show
say.
me the chapter and verse.
Hold on.
Show
Now,
me the chapter and verse.
Be quiet, can I speak?
Ooh.
Deuteronomy?
Hold on. Now, scripture does say try every spirit.
Now it does
brother.
say that, but I don't see
Try
nothing
his
but no
spirit.
eye.
Brother.
It's not. It doesn't say anything about with the different realms of the spirit. We don't
Brother.
operate between flesh and blood. Oh no, it does talk about verses
It did
with the
talk about
eye.
eyes. I don't remember.
It
what
does
scripture
talk
was,
about.
but
I think it's like Matthew talks
It
about
talks
the eyes.
about the pineal and something. I was just reading about this the other day. I
Yeah.
can't remember exactly where. I probably should have wrote it down.
Ariel.
But yeah.
Really? Ariel, I got a question.
Yeah, I got an answer.
Cipher.
Cipher. You mean
What?
cipher?
That book. Does that book speak anything about
Oh, we
chakras?
gonna start freestyling.
Chakras. Okay, boom. Listen, I got my notes. That's how I was holding this
Oh,
the
I
whole
love
time.
chakras.
So I was into chakras too. I was working for
I'm
artists.
about
We
to-
made a whole album called Chakras. That was like right before like I had my crazy experience, and I was like, oh, New Age, I can't. So I want to bring up the verse. You say it, and it's a verse. You said God is within. It says in Matthew 10:7, as you go, preach, saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand, meaning that boom, got it. Luke 17:21. It literally says, nor will they say, see here or see there, for indeed the kingdom of God is within you. So that came straight from the Bible. But I'm gonna get on your topic. But what was your question? I'm sorry, I don't want to go to, we have a short amount of time, I don't want to overthink
Is it chakras in there?
I got a
Oh,
question.
chakras. Boom.
Is
Yes, I got you.
chakras in that book?
Okay, it's not in the Bible, it's not in the Sefer, but when I was looking at Luke 17, it was talking about is within you, and then I got to Luke 17:24, and it was talking about like the lightning strike and the New Age. If you get like really deep into it, they talk about the lightning strike thing. I wish I could show y'all on camera the picture. Look up Tree of Life. We talked about that with Sunshine before, so it's a thing. But it's connected to the chakras and everything like that, because with the tree, it has like the 7. I mean, it's 10, but they brought it down to 7. Look into that. Look into Tree of Life.
Yeah, because
You can look at this.
you can break down chakras into more than just the 5 or 7 that we have in America.
Yeah, it's way more. They
Yeah.
just focus on
But
stuff.
it's based off the Hebrew Tree of Life. That's all I got.
So I got a question, Julian. You've been reading that book since how many years? Why that book don't talk nothing about them energy centers? I'm confused.
The energy centers.
The
That's
chakras.
what chakras are.
The
right?
chakras.
Yeah, energy center.
Why don't you
doesn't-
tell me, brother? You read the book just as long.
You better answer.
Maybe longer.
I'm trying to
faith
figure
you
this
have? How
out.
much knowledge do you have, Julian? You better.
I have a lot of knowledge. Now, as far as the chakras, right?
It's not in the book.
It
So
is
why
not in the
is
book.
it not in the book? That's his question, brother.
That is my question.
So I have a question.
Okay, what's your
When
question?
y'all read stuff,
Uh-oh.
right?
Uh-oh. I think I know her
Interpretation.
question. I know her question. I think I know
Interpretation.
it.
Do y'all follow every single thing? Because I know when if
I
I
know she's
if
gonna
I
go
read the
somewhere
Bible,
around there.
sometimes I'm just kind of taking stuff from it. I'm like, oh, they probably meant this, but I'm gonna take this, which can be dangerous if you're not like. But I don't really like anything I've learned about addiction, right? Addiction, the problem is it becomes overindulgence. You're doing something, you need that in your life, can't survive without it, and that's what makes a lot of things dangerous. So when y'all read stuff, do y'all really take everything in 110% and believe or do y'all?
Germ, she's
Take
hitting on
it
your
for
boy
what it
X
is.
tag. Do you take Genesis literal?
We're not going into that. We are not
I
going
can
into
answer that question. If y'all
That
don't
is a
answer
damn
listen, if y'all don't answer this question,
I
I'll
wanted
answer
to
it.
know.
Listen, I'll answer that question. I'll answer that question since I'm by the book. The goal is to follow everything by the book. So, I mean,
Come on,
certain
Ariel.
things, like, I'm going to keep it a bean. Like, for example, it's about, on here, we are supposed to follow Sabbath. Well, let me ask you before I get to that. There's a spirit, and there's a difference between, like you said, overindulgence. That's the issue with Hebrew Israelitism. If y'all anybody that know that's a Hebrew Israelite and y'all know me personally, listen, we can beef, we can talk about it. Y'all got my DMs. But it is about the heritage. But that's the spirit of religion. Again, with like all these like super, people that like be super judgmental, like, oh, you did this one thing. But the goal is to follow by the book. So ideally, I strive to follow this the way that it should, because there's like a lot of order and laws that make sense.
Right. As far as me, I definitely pray for understanding while I'm reading, because
Yes,
sometimes I
yes.
don't understand, and then depending on where you start, like I was kind of told by a brother that it's better to start in Matthew so you can get an understanding of who Yahusha is, who people refer to as Jesus. It's better to understand who he is so you can build a relationship with him, to know how he was, to know how he walked, and then to go back and forth. But it's not for people to read the renewed covenant or the New Testament, as they call it, just to forget about what's in the Old Testament. You still got to read the word and what was said from the Most High himself. But if you don't understand in that context, it's just easier, because the renewed covenant is more so about life itself. Like you can see like the life experiences and what people go through, and you can relate to it more of how it went. And so I always like to think about the Pharisees and the Sadducees and how they always, I'm sorry. I like to think about.
You talking that
she going
stuff.
Hey,
with it.
hey, really quick, y'all. I do have to read a comment. My man X Tag, the voice, we were just talking about him. He has just hopped on. He said, so I can't really comment? He always wants to call in. Listen, one day you're going to be able to call in. That's team from episode 39. And 66 Books of the Bible, Part 1. So we always glad to have him on. This is a really good conversation. Really quick, before this episode over, I would do injustice if I didn't just get this one thing off. And it's about the sage and the crystals. Because this thing has really got me up at night. Now listen, I do wear a crystal, and I do like Florida. Oh, I like Florida water too. And some
from the earth.
What?
Crystals are from the earth.
Okay, so crystals from the earth. Now, someone told me that you shouldn't rely on crystals. In fact, it's satanic to rely
you
on
should
crystals.
not just it's the overindulgence. It's you depending on that to. I love crystals, but I'm not about to wear them every day, all day, and live by them.
Okay.
But they help me.
So
I use them as a tool, just like I use anything else.
So can they deter evil energy?
I feel like one time I wore a black tourmaline. I went into this place that had a bunch of Jews. I'm not saying they're evil, and racists that had Black Lives Matter things up that weren't really that, and I got a headache from that crystal. That crystal was letting me know that something is wrong in this place.
Was
so
it
I feel like
was it the crystal, or was it God?
God, just like God works through everything else. One time I noticed I didn't trust God from an Instagram song, okay? He's working, I feel, for me, my opinion, is he works through crystals too. He uses that too.
I'm gonna say
that energy. But that's
Well, right.
I got a
probably
crystal on right now. I don't get into the crystals. I don't.
But you got one on.
Yeah, that's a little
But you got one on.
That's
I got it
No,
on.
wait a minute.
Hold on. Now you can say it's critical. You can say hypocritical, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I took this for the fashion. That was it.
Oh,
that is hypocritical.
And it's helping you out too.
But as far as believing in all of it, I don't believe in the energy part.
But you're still giving association and allegiance to it by wearing it. It's like, for example, I'm trying to think of another example. I don't want to get like too much into it, but it's like you're still wearing it, even though you say you don't believe it, but you're wearing it enough. That shows, let's say somebody didn't know you.
I believe in this sweater, but it's gonna keep me warm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like let's say someone didn't know you. They're like, okay, I'm gonna associate you, Julian, that crystal, and put an association with that. Instead of being like, okay, no crystals. Like for example, let's say the Muslim boys that wear the little kufis. You know, you'll be looking at them and be like, okay, that's the Muslim guy. And then he's gonna be like, oh, I'm not Muslim. I just like the kufi.
Right.
I do believe you have to believe it for it to like really. I don't know. That's how life is.
My crystal.
That's why affirmations are so important.
The boy told me this is supposed to be for dreams and meditation.
Okay.
No, wait a minute, brother.
Now, I never used it for that. I
Did you
just
sleep
used
with it?
Get him. Get him.
Oh.
Well, one time I actually fell asleep. I forgot it was on my.
No, how was that dream?
Talk about that night, brother.
Yo,
No, how was that dream?
Hold on. Let me see. It was recently. I mean, it was like the other day. I know I slept with it.
No, something different happened. I can already tell by your response. Something different happened that night.
Something different did not happen though.
Oh, all right.
I think I really just had to sleep. But I don't even remember like the dream for real. To be honest
we'll
with
talk
y'all.
about
Okay.
dream. Y'all need to have a thing about dreams in the spiritual realms, yo.
But you know what? I'm gonna hit on something. I'm about to take this home for y'all. Okay?
Yeah, take us home.
We're going to talk about another thing real fast. What do y'all think about necromancy?
Is that new? I mean, that's probably
No, is that sex with the...
necromancy meaning channeling the dead, talking to the dead.
Okay, no.
ancestors.
No,
ancestral worship.
no, that's speaking to a familiar spirit in the Bible.
Yep.
And that is not right.
Yep.
Now, that's me personally.
That's not right.
Now, let me break this down for you because
Yes.
you're a psychic, right?
Oh,
Now, they say,
yes.
now a psychic, they can supposedly, now this is coming from a
I
witch.
mean, I don't talk to them, but yeah. go ahead.
A psychic reads energies, whereas a medium reads spiritual energies and spirits.
I hope you don't mix up psychic with prophecy either.
Now, let's
It's
not
the
mix
source.
it up.
It's the
But
source.
some of the New Agers want to say Christians just call our practice prophecy, when the two are different.
Yeah, because we're
That's
not
A
talking about
prophet
that.
is one who has a word from God.
Yep.
Jonah was a prophet. He went to Nineveh and preached a revival.
Yeah, don't mix psychic when people prophesize now.
Yep. Exactly.
I'm not about y'all speaking with the dead. No, whether or not y'all want to read people's energy and if the crystal can help you read someone's energy when they enter a room, I'm actually okay with that. I don't think it's demonic, AB. I'm sorry, I don't. Ariel. No, hold up. I know some of y'all get a little stimulated when we bring up the Old Testament. What did that priest wear? They wore them 12 jewels.
But wait,
no, come on, y'all.
That's true.
Rob, talk to me.
But again,
Alright.
but where the source? Did God tell them to wear the 12 jewels for whatever, or did they be like, I'm gonna wake up and be like, I'm gonna wear these 12 jewels for my own thing? It's like everything. There's the verse Isaiah 14:14. It literally says, when Satan's like, I will be like the Most High. So everything that is in this world that comes from the earth, it comes from God because it comes from the earth. But Satan perverts the intention of it and makes us think, okay, it's for ourselves or it's for that, but we're not giving any reverence to God of the Bible, not just God. So that's the issue with this. Always the source. That's the most important.
Ariel, I'm about to cut you short real quick.
Cut me short.
I'm sorry, but we're almost to that time.
Oh, my mouth
We
shut.
got 2 minutes, bro.
No, y'all don't.
Yes. No.
Now is the
Even the
time.
baby's crying. She ain't ready to go.
If you would like to promote anything, we'll start with you, AB. We'll end with you, Vanessa. If you would like to promote anything, let us know what you're getting into.
I'm going to keep it short. I'm promoting the truth. I'm promoting God. Follow me on Instagram, though, YVNG.CHILI. Follow me on Twitter, YVNG.CHILI. But I'm just promoting the truth in the Bible.
I love it. Doing a lot of great things in the community, supporting unity, and follow me at Expressive Illustrations. I have a show on December 15th called Show the Fuck Up. Show the fuck up for yourself. Celebrate yourself. Show the F up. French fries up for yourself, for others. All that good stuff. On December 15th, it's all about drum circles, ecstatic dance, art, food, great stuff. So, Expressive Illustrations.
Sounds like a move. You can find me on Instagram at _YovWadi. That's _YovWadi. I am a poet, also an author, and looking forward to having some workshops based on my book, Ruffled Feathers, which is a guided poetry journal with affirmations for women, but just, navigating through the struggles and getting through life and letting that resiliency out. We're much stronger than we think, much stronger than we know. And through the grace and power of the Most High God, we can accomplish so many things. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Amen. So, this is it. We didn't hit on everything. I had a little scripture I wanted to read to you guys.
Oh,
but
good.
I can't hit on it. But, well, nah, I ain't gonna hit it. Because I gotta go deep into it, I was going to go out of Deuteronomy 18, but I'm going to save that for part 3. Now, as it is, you know where to find us at. We're the Controversy Podcast, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you find the podcast. WC_pod on YouTube, WC_pod on...
I know that. I know that is not your alarm.
That is my alarm, okay? Don't worry, my alarm is Michael Jackson. But yeah, WC_pod for Instagram, right? And WC_pod for Twitter. We're Controversy Podcast for Facebook. Oh, and that will be it. We'll see you next time. And we are out.